be it the price, the space, interior, exterior, the drive, suspension, engine, NVH. Welcome to Cars in Korea. I introduce newly released Genesis Hyundai and Kia cars. The car I have behind me today is 2024 Hyundai Elantra PE right there. PE stands for product enhancement, and we can see that abundantly on this Elantra model under a sunlight. I have a direct sunlight here today. Hyundai just released the Elantra N PE or facelift model in Shanghai, China. But before I get my hands on Elantra N, let's get inside this car and let's actually taste a glimpse of what N and also Elantra has got to offer. I mean, the wheelbase, the look, and the design, the performance. Well, I gotta take out the performance over there. And this car is a great entry-level sedan from Hyundai. Not to mention that it's been the best-selling car from Hyundai family thus far. This is the key for 2024 Hyundai Elantra. We've seen this one first time on the Hyundai Ioniq 6 with the bluish color. I think that is what the EVs are for, and black and any other color probably for internal combustion engine that this car is. So unlock. I really like the DRL right there. What do you think about the lights? Because that essentially is the part that has changed the most. And I really do think that it looks absolutely gorgeous. I really like this angle the most. Car facing forward with the steering wheel slightly to the left or to the right. Kind of gives you that aggressive look. I want to show you the lights on. Why not just hop in the car and also fire this car up. It just got really hot here today. It's already summer. I want to have the headlights on. This definitely is the design that we have seen originally from the fully changed CN7. From the Elantra emblem down is actually completely changed on this model. Not to mention that long stretched rear reflector. See how rapidly it's rising with the rear diffuser right there. Worthwhile mentioning in facelift models. Right above that is the horizontal line. Hyundai tries to carry over with the seamless horizon lamp. That's not implemented on this Elantra just yet, but we see that long horizontal line. Definitely something that completes the Hyundai look. So it's lit up, and that is the reason why, of course, we see a little more red essence out of this taillight. But it's not just the light, trust me. The design itself, the rear design altogether, make it really stand out and emphasize even more on that taillight. What do you think? You really have to see this car in person, just like many cars out there. Fender right here is where the most significant change has been made on this PE model. Again, all this I've mentioned on my previous exterior review, so go check it out. I want to see what it is like under a sunlight. The headlight is actually parted, and this is not a whole long bar that would light up, but rather just a chrome molding with piano black wrapped around it. Now I have the time. I just want to give you a full walk around. I wonder when the skewer would ever become a absorber type, but still is a good old stick and nothing out of the ordinary. Just a quick look at what's underneath the hood. By the way, Elantra N got blacked out emblem on the front and rear. Tan and also ivory and gray two-tone color interior. Just one of my favorites. I really do like bright interiors. I bet many of you guys do too. Although it might be a little hard to maintain. Trust me, it's not all that difficult, especially with the latest chemicals out there and also technology around it. Still doesn't get a handle on the trunk. I wish I can get one over there, but I guess we'll see that on next fully changed Elantra, huh? Pull this to fold your rear seats. You can see that it's tucked in if it's locked tight, but it's not when it's actually pulled out. So be sure to actually click the rear seats, because I've seen so many people that don't. So if the car slams on the brake, it's just going to fold like that. As hard as you can, just like I did. It's not going to break a thing, don't worry. That is one of the most sturdiest part of the car. So same for this side, you see, it's not clicked. So push it all the way in like that, and it's locked in good. And when that happens, you see this one is now tucked in. That is the trunk size. You know what? Let me show you with the full flat as well. So it's not full flat, as you can see. I see a hump, but certainly you can throw things in. And also, I don't know if you want to slip in this car. A lot of people do what's called chabak here in Korea, where that is slipping inside your car with your car parked next to the mother nature and whatnot. If you have to, you could definitely do it. It's certainly doable because you get the size. Not the most comfy one out there. Of course, you would get an SUV for that. Just to give you an idea of what the space is like. That's another Elantra under a broad daylight. That being said, it's all about the drive now, so let's go and check it out. It's been a few days since I shot the intro of this 2024 Hyundai Elantra PE, and let me get started with this statement. Elantra, after all, both a good positive way and a little bit of a con. I've been putting some good city and freeway mileage on this car, and now I can say with confidence that this Elantra is the best facelift that Hyundai ever gave us thus far. And not just to mention the exterior that I covered intensively, that I can hardly believe it is a facelift. Not many people would be able to tell that this is a facelift because it got a completely different look on the front bumper. Well, I'm inside the car, so enough of the exterior. Let me go over the drive and how it feels like inside. Let me just get started with the powertrain, the engine and transmission of Elantra first of all. This one has the inline-4 naturally aspirated engine that pushes about 123 horsepower. Honestly speaking, I'll give it to you, it's not a high number. Thanks to the electrification and also the technology, every regular city commuter is pushing around 300 horsepower where it used to be considered a sporty car or sports car. But with that baseline, this 123 just isn't cutting it, to be honest, right? However, when it's matched with the CVT, the continuous variable transmission that this Elantra has, it's a beautiful match. I know CVT is not the most favored transmission out there. Personally, I do love DCTs, both dry and wet, and I have driven a good mileage on both of the transmissions. 7 dry DCT with my daily driver Kia Seltos, and also 8-speed wet DCT with my Veloster N. All of these transmissions that I've listed, they have very distinctive characteristics of their own, and not to mention the CVT. Be all that direct, it may not be all that responsive compared to that of the DCT, or maybe even 8-speed automatic that was recently embedded on 2024 Hyundai Kona or 2024 Kia Seltos, which honestly speaking is one of my personal favorite by far on a regular city drivers. But this CVT, it's been some time since I've test driven one, but it's a beautiful match to this Elantra because there is a constant stop and go in the city drives when you are especially in the area where there's a lot of rush hour traffic jam, just like where I am. This CVT is a beautiful, beautiful choice of your transmission because it delivers the power instantly, but at the same time, very smoothly. Ridiculous MPG. I did see numbers go above 20 kilometers per liter easy when you use the Eco as well as adaptive cruise control that this car is equipped with. You can easily pump out the best MPG out of this car. The average fuel consumption, I believe officially is somewhere around 12 to 14 kilometer per liter figure. I'll be inserting the precise number right now. Trust me, it's not difficult at all for you to get that numbers just skyrocketing just looking at that tachometer. So speaking of the tech that's been implemented, the onboard camera and this BVM, and what else is new on this Elantra PE? Brand new emblem that we've seen on the outside, both front and back, is also on the steering wheel now. Almost like a full change front bumper design really contributes to the drive itself as well. A very, very clean line of sight, wide enough front windshield, and also the side mirrors. And I have the HDA on, and it's also associated and hooked up with the navigation system. Watch. I know it's limited to Korea at the moment. It's integrated with the navigation system. There is a speed camera up ahead. It will actually reduce the speed so you don't get the ticket. Quite depressing that Hyundai didn't really find a way to best utilize this space right here. I know it's one of the most tricky part to use. We never got any use of that except for the N-Line. N-Line have drive modes on here. Over here is the 10.25-inch monitor, two of them left and right, nothing in the middle. They're not connected, a little bit angled right here, both facing towards you. This car is driver centric. One more thing that says out loud that this car is driver centric is this gigantic handle that separates you from the passenger seat. But this, you could actually take it out, rotate it. It even says right here, it says switch. So you rotate it and it actually makes the cup holder deeper. And the Hyundai logo key. Brand new key that we started seeing from Hyundai Ioniq 6. Let's pick up some speed, shall we? Full accelerating. So you see, it gets the work done. It gets the work done. Well, when you're merging into highway, it's not going to pick up the speed like V6 or V8s. You do need some space and time for you to pick up the speed. But when it gets there, it easily coasts and lets you just comfortably drive on highway, no problem. No combiner type, no windshield type, there is no HUD whatsoever. Yes, I would take that option anytime for free, but not something that I always look for on cars. The tachometer does a good job of delivering all the information, necessary information that I need. This GUI infotainment system, just exactly the same as that we have seen on other Hyundai cars that uses that 10.25-inch monitors. You would get used to this infotainment system layout in a heartbeat. And you could also use the screen splitted, whichever the information that you want and need. And I've mentioned this in previous other videos, but HDA really depends on the type of transmission you have. I think the HDA works beautifully with the EVs because there is that instant torque. There is no shifting in between the transmissions and gears. So CVT kind of falls in that realm, right? Both of the driver seat and passenger seats gets powered seats. One thing I want to point out is that if you take a look at behind the second row seat, you would actually see a gigantic rear speakers. However, only the right one is a legitimate speaker. The left one is a dummy. That I found out by opening up a trunk and lurking inside, just looking underneath. Honestly, I'm not that most sensitive guy when it comes to music and sound. It just got the job done. I had the bass I wanted. Twitter here, nothing on the A-pillar. When it comes to the premium cars, you guys know there's like tweeters everywhere. There's like 18 speakers, if not more. What's the maximum number of speakers this day? Drop in the comment below if you know one, but I think I've seen some numbers go up to somewhere around like 24. It has a card slot right here for the Korean expressways. Let's see. Okay, so it comes with the LED lights, LED dome lights, the manual record for your built-in cam. 12.5 kilometer per liter. I've been driving for an hour and 20 minutes now for 25 kilometers, and that is the MPG I got. And flooring it. Yes, it makes a very loud noise. Decent. It's good enough for a 123 horsepower engine. Good match with the CVT. Great job. I really have to say it. I love it. The NVH, noise, vibration, and harshness in this Elantra is immaculate. You could probably feel from the way my audio is doing right now, and also looking at the road conditions up on the front. It doesn't really give me that Genesis kind of a soundproof kind of feel to it, saying it out loud because I see a Genesis G90 on my left. However, I just can't believe that this is an Elantra. But Elantra also does a great job keeping the cabin super quiet and cozy. As for the suspension, it's not too soft, it's not too stiff either. The dampers are not electronically controlled, so it's not that variable type. However, it's just perfectly tuned and set for a great daily city commuter car, I believe. Speaking of the suspension, I also want to point out the brake pedals. Instead of providing all the instant feedback upon the tap of your foot brake, the car doesn't just stop at a halt, no, but it kind of gives you more linear feedback. So you have control over your foot brake on a wider and gradual level, which I really do like. That way you can do a very gentle, smooth driving. All right, so that is it for today. Let me summarize it up with one single sentence here. Elantra at its finest. That is what I have for today. Be it the price, the space, interior, exterior, the drive, suspension, engine, NVH, the way it feels, and also do really good on used markets too, right? When you are out there trading cars in, everybody will be welcoming this Elantra, and that also plays quite an important role when it comes to vehicles, right? It just has it all, has it all. What do you think? Drop in the comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.
제 차보다 옵션이 되게 많은데 왜 싸죠? 살짝 조금 기분이 좀 그렇네.